Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the 505 Sports Venture Program. We're coming to you from the ProView Studios in downtown Albuquerque, high above Central Avenue. I've got Adrian, my producer, behind the glass, helping us along. Up the stairs in the big guy's seat is Steve Davis. We always shout out to Steve for giving us this great opportunity to come to you and discuss our 505 collective movement, University of New Mexico athletics, and what's going on here in Albuquerque. We have a special guest, one of our board members, a local guy, and we're going to talk some Lobo baskets in a little bit. But first, again, I sound like a broken record because that's what I am. We need your help, Albuquerque. We need your help, New Mexico. This is a very important time for UNM basketball, both women and men's. March 18th starts what people call the portal. We have great rosters. As we know, the women go into play today. By the time you see this, they will be headed toward the championship game, I believe. And the men play on Wednesday. We have great foundation here with student athletes. We have solid players. They're good kids. And they have the opportunity to transfer, just like everyone else. So one of the ways we keep them here is through our collective. We create name, image, and likeness benefits for them, and we try to keep them. It's all about retention. So we need your help. No donation is too small. You can go to our website, 505sports.org. You can donate $1. We have programs that start at $20 a month, give you access to all sorts of content, special events, get to meet the players. We can craft a program for your needs if you're looking at a larger scale. So anyway, 505sports.org. Come on, New Mexico, give us a hand. Let's keep what we have going. Let's keep the Lobos on a winning path. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our guests. Thanks for being with us. Hang out.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our 505 Sports Venture Program. We're looking forward to big things this week out in Las Vegas. Our women start today. Our men play tomorrow. And I think the sky's the limit for those two teams. Anyway, I want to introduce my guest. Familiar to many of you who are from Albuquerque, Mackenzie Bishop. Local guy, member of our board, 505 Sports Venture Board, contributor, local businessman, developer, principal at Abrazo Homes.
Yep.
And let me tell you, Abrazo Homes, great product. I live in one. and insane Lobo fan. I mean, I think it's fair. Categorized. You can see Mackenzie behind the basket has intimate relationships with many of the referees and opposing players.
Both positive and negative.
And both intimate relationships.
Exactly.
They're relationships, you know. They don't have to be good or bad. Welcome aboard. How's it going?
It's great. I'm glad to be here and really looking forward to this week.
All right, give me a little background for those who don't know. You grew up where?
So, born and raised in New Mexico. A local son for sure. Grew up just east of town. Went to East Mountain High School. Everybody always asks where you go to high school.
Right, important.
It's important in New Mexico. Tells people a lot about where you came from. Went to University of New Mexico. Majored in business there. Graduated from the Anderson School, and started the company that I own now. Among some other companies that my partner and I own, we started Abrazo Homes in 2010. When we first started, it was just the two of us. First year, we built 6 houses. Last year, we built about 180, and we have about 35 employees. So in all that time, lots of growth, lots of growing pains, learned a lot about organizations and culture, and we're very proud that we won Best Places to Work 5 years in a row. So it's not just about the results of what we do, but more importantly, how we do it is really important to us.
Well, as a real estate person from back east, I realized that the last couple of years, the whole landscape has changed. We went from, and we'll be short on this, we'll be very short on the real estate part.
Yeah.
Interest rates were low for 30 years.
Yep.
And then, boom, we changed, the whole market changed. And you guys must have struggled, but you've persevered.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you could just say about real estate in general over the last 3-4 years, especially since the pandemic, it's just volatility. I mean, from quarter to quarter, it seems like it's a completely new and different market, whether it's interest rates or supply or both. We've really had to be nimble and adaptive to what's going on around us. So we're really well positioned for that. We don't have a board. We don't have shareholders on Wall Street. We're able to make decisions quickly. And in a lot of times, we're able to stay the course on things that we think make sense longer term. So while it's been a challenge in that environment at times, we've also had some of our best years since then. So very thankful for that.
Well, that's great. As someone who's been here now 2 years, pretty much full time, you can just feel the energy, the growth in the town. And I, as an entrepreneur, feel the potential. It's a great potential here. The city seems to be really coming alive.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think whether it's Lobo basketball or the real estate or really the economy in general, there's definitely a buzz about town in Albuquerque, and we're starting to get the restaurants that we haven't had for a while, right? In-N-Out announcements and things like that. We got a Topgolf. Really, in the last 4 or 5 years, I feel like Albuquerque has grown up a lot. It still has so much more room to grow and so much more potential. But we love building here. We don't want to build anywhere else. We love making this place a better place on a daily basis.
Well, that's part of our goal at 505 SVF is through growth and stability in the athletic department, especially now we're interested in every athlete. Our goal is to have an NIL deal for every athlete, but we focused on the sports that create money, that sell tickets. Obviously, men's basketball. Now with Bronco, we're in partnership to do football and women's basketball. Those are the sports that create income, not only for the school, but as the success grows, the publicity grows, the town, the state, all benefit from that.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that the quality of Lobo sports, especially those revenue sports, the quality of that directly correlates, and there's been a lot of studies about this across the country, about the quality of the Division I sports and revenue sports and how that translates into economic development. And even beyond just dollars and cents, the pride that people have when the Lobos are good, this is just a much more fun place to live. When everybody's wearing cherry, the airport's full, people are going to games. I went to a networking function a couple weeks back, and almost everybody at that networking function was going to the game that night. And it's just when that kind of buzz is going on around town, that's when it's the best, right? Like it's a tide that raises all boats.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One of our biggest supporters, Rick Gallus, tells me that when the Lobos are on a roll, they have a great weekend. Monday morning, Tuesday, people coming in, looking at cars. They've got a little step, they're bouncing around. Things are great. The sky's blue, but,
Right.
It's bluer. The weather's better. It's a real energy creating thing. I often comment, I said, ultimately, in a year from now, when we've had sustained success, the networks will now be able to tell the difference between New Mexico and New Mexico State. They'll stop making that move, that era, and we'll be in a better place. All right, so economic development is key. Let's talk, before we get to the first break, a little Lobo baskets.
I love it.
All right, Air Force on Wednesday. Owe them a little bit of a revenge.
We do owe them a little revenge. It's interesting to look at the two games because, really I feel like on the road, and this kind of became a trend for the Lobos throughout the last part of the year. On the road, they always seem to have a little bit more focus, played with a little less, chip on their shoulder, a little less pressure. And for whatever reason, I think the Pit is both a blessing and can also be a curse because they want to win so badly here. But looking at Air Force specifically, I think we match up well. I think if the team shows up focused and ready to win, they should be able to deal with them fairly easily.
Yeah, we owe them. The Lobos owe them.
We do. If there's any reason to be focused, this is not going to be a trap game, especially given what happened the last time.
Well, I've said this all along. When we were rolling and winning streaks and people talking Sweet 16, I said, I don't want to play Wednesday in Las Vegas. We're playing Wednesday. I also said, let's get to Friday night. Let's play in the semifinals in the Mountain West tournament because our net and all these ratings have been so high. You get to that level, you are going to play in the national tournament. And then we all look forward to now. For the first time in 10 years, New Mexico fans are going to look forward to Sunday and the selection show. All right, everybody. We're out of time in our first segment. Hang out with us. We'll be right back. We'll show you some ads, and we're going to talk more baskets. We'll be right back.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk,
Blasted,
intoxicated,
ripped, plastered,
taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Networks.
Supposed to be 60 degrees. Hey, everybody, welcome back to part 3 of today's 505 Sports Venture program. I'm here with Mac Bishop, big Lobo member of our board, local developer, business guy, Albuquerque guy, and we're talking Lobo baskets. All right, we already decided we're going to get past Air Force this time. We owe those guys. Good kids.
Hate to look past anybody, but I think for the sake of where we are in the season, that if we don't get past them, then it's kind of all for a moot point at that point.
I hear you. All right, but we know we're already slotted into Boise, who beat us in the pit in a game that could have gone either way. You got to recall, I think Jalen House went 1 for 14 in that game.
And Max Rice
couldn't
miss anything.
Out of his mind. All right, and then we went up to Boise, competed. They just kind of pushed us around.
Yeah.
So what do we do? How do we beat Boise?
Well, I think, before we talk about Boise, I would just say, though we don't like to be playing Wednesday, I actually think the way the bracket lays out for us, it lays out pretty well. What we really need is a Q1 win. And I know on a neutral court, the net rankings change, but to beat Boise, because they've beat us twice, but they're also one of the top teams in the net, I think would really help us on a neutral court. And I think that they're beatable. I think we saw the first game, the second game, they kind of pushed us around a little bit. I think that we can combat that with a little bit from a lineup perspective, but I think coaches and the players will be challenged and ready to show up and battle the way that they weren't necessarily up in Idaho.
Yeah, that was an odd game. I mean, I know with all the momentum in the world after they beat New Mexico, they hosted Nevada.
Yep.
And Nevada kind of just controlled the whole game. Max Rice looked human.
Yep.
The other day, he looked human for most of the game until he decided to make a 40-footer.
Man.
But we beat them last year.
Yep.
With a lesser team. It's a must game. Okay, so let's assume we beat Boise. UNM beats Boise on Thursday. Let's not look ahead yet till Friday because we don't know. Do you think Lobos are in the national tournament if they beat Boise?
I feel like if we get Boise, if we win on Thursday and we get to Friday, as you've said all season, we have to feel pretty good about it. I think what's went on with the bubble this past weekend, a lot of the teams around us lost. Obviously, they're going to be in their conference tournaments as well. They'll have some opportunities to get big wins. Who really knows how it's going to work? But with our computer rankings the way they are, I mean, even if we were left out today, we would be the highest ranked net rating to not make the tournament. So that's not necessarily the kind of history we want to make. But I do think that if we were to beat Boise, be 25, 28 net somewhere in there, it'd be really hard to leave us out.
Yeah, I like that part. I like the statistical part. We haven't been super successful the last 10 games, kind of
not
back
playing
and
well
forth.
at the right time.
Right, not playing well, right. But the public, the talk with the experts, the pundits, whatever you want to call them, continue to say six teams from the Mountain West. Six teams from the Mountain West. Now, I'm always amazed because I watched after the Lobos lost a heartbreaker to Utah State, I watched UNLV and Nevada with great interest. Now, Nevada won, UNLV dropped back to a 4 seed. Had they won, they'd be a 2.
Yeah.
And they would have finished second in the Mountain West, beat New Mexico twice, but they're still in the predictions in the bracketology stuff, they're out.
Right.
To me, it's like, wait a minute. If I'm UNLV and I see New Mexico get in and we don't, I'm like, wait a minute. What do we have to do? We finished ahead of them. We beat them twice. So the whole bracketology, the whole net thing, statistics, it kind of baffles me. And I've been following this 60 years.
I think one thing that's really come out and very starkly this year, if you look at Nevada, they've had an amazing conference season. Their non-conference season was not. They had multiple losses at the level.
UNLV, you mean?
UNLV,
right,
yeah.
Right.
They had multiple losses in the non-con, And I think that is coming back to haunt them in a big way. That really set their computer rankings low, and they have several bad losses. That 30-point loss at home to Air Force, it just looms large. When the committee's looking at that, we lost to Air Force, but we lost on a buzzer beater. It doesn't make it any more excusable. I think if we hadn't lost that game, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But we are where we are, and at this point in time, we're going to have to beat good teams. This is the time. This is the time of year where you can't dodge teams and hope for hope for a good draw when you get to the NCAA tournament. But this time of year, if you want to accomplish what you want to accomplish, you're going to have to beat good teams.
Right.
And so they have everything out in front of them. They have the opportunity to play meaningful basketball in March, which for a lot of years in the last 10 we haven't had that opportunity. And the Pitt West is going to be rocking. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we have I've talked to a lot of folks who are excited about it. It used to be in the Alford era where a large amount of New Mexicans planned at least one of their vacations in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And you and I know you went in on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You were playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Or you were there. Those were some great moments. Cutting down the net at Thomas and Mack. It won't be like that this year, even though UNLV's there. But one year the Lobos won it. That Friday night had San Diego State, UNLV, New Mexico, and I believe Colorado State. Thomas and Mack was sold out.
Yep.
I mean, you couldn't get a seat. Full house.
And for a neutral tournament to have a full house like that that's very uncommon in college basketball.
Completely wild. Well, one other thing, we're coming to the end of this segment. We've got a minute or so. But I believe today the Mountain West coach, the vote comes out on the all conference teams.
Yep.
And the preliminary I've seen two voters who treated New Mexico poorly. The Colorado State guy or gal had 4 Lobos on the top 3 teams.
Right.
What do you think?
For first team for the
any Lobos get now? Is JT going to get Freshman of the Year, or are they going to give it to Thomas now?
I mean, I feel like JT's got to get Freshman of the Year. I mean, he was Freshman of the Week almost every week of the season.
Right.
I just can't see. I mean, Deedon Thomas, he's the freshman point guard on a top 4 team. I think if UNLV had beat UNLV or had beat Nevada and they were the 2 seed, I could see that. But the difference between the 4 seed and the 6 seed. JT is just on another level. He's going to be a future pro for sure. Hopefully we have him back next year, I think. But yeah, I would say JT's got to get Freshman of the Year. I'm not sure that we get anybody on the first team, unfortunately. I think second team we might have 2 or 3. But I think the first team we might get locked out.
Yeah, a lot of that is kind of starts in the preseason.
Yeah.
I think guys get nominated and then they have to lose a role. I think Donovan Dent will be completely undervoted, although he became kind of the leader of the Lobos.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we've come to another break in the action. Hang out with us. We're going to show you a couple of ads, try to sell you some stuff, and we'll be back. Thanks for being here.
Inside the paint, Benally slicing and dicing the defense.
Good steal there. Archuleta underneath the scoop shot, and he scores. Shake and bake there to the corner for the 3. That looks good. Elijah Martinez.
Diego. Stolen away by Rodriguez. Sarton's on the run again. Pass up to Jason Montoya on the right side. Spin move is up. Shot is good.
In their defense. Kick out Otero. Defender went flying by. And Otero breaks the seal. First 3 of the night belongs to the Huskies.
go. Here's Holland, who steals it away from Capital, getting double teamed. Here's Holland pushing his way forward and getting more points.
Working inside, got his man in the air, and there's a putback for Nico Gutierrez.
El Dorado right in this. Eventually that pass was going to get stolen. I saw that coming. They ran the same play 3 straight possessions.
Anna Taylor was off the steal.
Made him pay.
Puts it home. Nice shot by Anna Taylor.
Beautiful find inside. Blocked by Hiron.
Got numbers.
Randall drives baseline. Cut off. That's great defense there. Benally off the quick pass. And you just can't stop these Matadors sometimes.
I'm going to start in the middle. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our final segment here with Mac Bishop. We're talking Lobo baskets. Thanks for staying with us. All right. So now we've taken care of Air Force. We've got that revenge. We beat them 15, 20 points. Boise.
I'll just take a win. 1 point.
That's right. One. Well, I don't want that kid shooting at the buzzer to beat us again.
Be nice to be leading by at least 8.
All right, hold the ball, shake hands. All right, Boise, we mentioned them. They're tough. Lobos have to get bigger. What do you think? We saw 5 minutes in the first half. Now, Mash was out. We were short-handed. But Quentin Webb played.
Yeah.
Made an incredible steal. Very athletic. All of a sudden, we look bigger.
Yep.
Can you play the kid? And he hasn't played in forever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with Boise, because they do create so many matchup problems for us, especially at the 1 through 3 spot, I just feel like we're going to have to change it up a little bit, especially when you're playing back-to-back days. Guys aren't going to have as much energy. You're going to have to play a little deeper into the bench, and I think that could come and play a difference because they're gonna have to really be aggressive managing the roster because when Max Rice, Anderson, and Abo are on the floor, it's really hard for us to win if we don't play a little bit bigger at that 3 spot. So maybe that's Baker, maybe Q gets some run, even if it's in 2 or 3 minute spurts to kind of get us between media timeouts. But it all comes down to every possession mattering, and I think having as big of a team as we can when we need to, and then be opportunistic with a smaller lineup. To me, aside from the other kind of the check boxes where you don't turn the ball over, we got to rebound, make free throws, the usual intangibles that you need to bring to it. I do think that we're going to have to get a little bit more creative from a lineup perspective.
All right, so we'll let Coach Patino and his staff, they'll figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
We're comfortable.
Yep.
I agree. One of the things, and we talked about it, we did watch a game together Saturday night. One of the things that just drives me up the wall, and I'm sure the staff, is in essence the unforced turnovers.
Correct.
The over enthusiastic passes, the trying to lob it in between 2 players. Got to cut down on that because it just kills momentum, and every possession matters in this. Free throws also. Yeah. So we hold our breath when the first foul shot of the game is Nelly or JT because foul shots are contagious. What else? Let's say, all right, Boise. We played them twice. They beat us twice. You got somebody who's going to have a breakout game? Who's going to be the star of that game when the Lobos advance?
I really feel like Jalen is so due for that kind of breakout game. I really felt like he played pretty well at Utah State, short of a handful of times where he probably tried to do too much. But I really think he started to get a little confidence. He made a 3. He made that pull-up jump shot to tie the game.
Oh,
which was
big
a huge
shot. Huge shot.
Just for his confidence, I know he's kind of been battling that a little bit. Jalen could have a pretty big tournament. I think if he keeps his head right, and I think with the energy that's going to be there from all the Lobo fans that are going to make the trek to Las Vegas, I think I know that that's a cop-out answer for him, but like, Max Rice and Boise has really gone as Max Rice has gone.
Yeah.
And if you really look at our season, we've really gone as Jalen's gone.
No doubt.
When Jalen's clicking, and when he's hitting shots, taking good shots, making the right play, and then really leading us from an energy standpoint on defense, when he's doing those things, we're really hard to beat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I agree. I look for Jalen to be the leader. I got Jalen as my conference tournament player. He wins the award.
That.
I've got the Lobos winning the whole thing, but a little premature. I think they get past Boise. I think Jalen has a big game. It'll be tight. And then if everything goes the way it should, Friday night, which I love Friday night in Las Vegas. Lobos haven't been there since Paul Weir's first year.
Yeah.
Oof.
And even that was a team that didn't expect it. That was a fun run.
That was a fun run. Friday night we get Steve Alford in Nevada, possibly.
Potentially, they'll be looking at a chance at redemption, like we're looking at a chance at redemption for Boise. But I think we can get to Friday, anything can happen, because by then I think some of the pressure's off of us. I think we're feeling pretty good about where we are. Hopefully, having some confidence coming out of a win, beating Boise on Thursday. Anything could happen, and that's what we all live for. Those are the games that are the best.
Right. Well, what you'll see, and you can't underestimate the impact. Pitt West. I'm not in love with the term. I get what it means, but there's no doubt that Lobo fans will outnumber every school at least 2-1, if not more.
Even including UNLV.
Sadly for the conference, obviously more sad for UNLV, but for the conference, it's not a draw anymore, UNLV basketball. Nevada, Las Vegas doesn't know what happens. So we've got the Lobos then finishing the sweep on Friday against Steve Alford. 3-0. Oh,
it would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
That would be some redemption.
And then national TV against UNLV, San Diego State. Man, who knows?
There's going to be some dogfights on the other side of the bracket.
Well, this tournament, because you've got 6 teams already theoretically in, right? Lobo fans don't believe it. And UNLV, the home team on the outs. Right. Wild, complete, greatest tournament matchup on paper of all time with the Mountain West.
Oh, I mean, when you look 1 through 7, when you have 2 teams playing on Wednesday that really should be in the NCAA tournament, the depth of that in an 11-team league is remarkable. It's wild.
Anyway, listen, I want to thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll look forward to seeing you Wednesday, courtside, in our red. We'll put our red on. And again, let's go Lobos. Now I'm going to say thanks, and I'm going to ask everybody to help us out again. I can't mention this enough. We need your support, UNM fans, New Mexicans, Albuquerqueans, everyone. As Mac has said, and I have said over and over, this is more than just the University of New Mexico. This is the economy of the entire state. When the Lobos do well, the state does well. The hotels fill, the restaurants fill. The national publicity is something that the government sometimes pays for. It's free advertising for the state, and we're all part of it. We don't have the oil guys coming through the door with $1 million checks, $50 million to build a stadium. We need your help. So, again, I ask you, 505sports.org, $1, whatever you can do. We need it. We're going to retain our roster with your help. We're going to boost the football program. It's going to be a great time in New Mexico, but we need your help. We're on a roll right now, 505sports.org. All right, we'll see you next week, and we'll be discussing where the Lobos are playing in the national tournament. Thanks for being with us. See you again.
Go Lobos.
There you go.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot.